Good morning! This is the Abundance Mindset Podcast. Sit back and relax as we discuss hot topics on how to handle and grow your business, self-development, and how positivity can bring profitability in your life. Here are your hosts, Vinney and Gualter.
And welcome back, Alchemist. This is Abundance Thursdays with myself, Gualter Amarelo, and the great Vinney Smile Chopra. Vinney, welcome back, brother. It's nice to see you not wearing a jacket today.
Yes, it's so wonderful out here. You know, it's so beautiful. Gualter, I'm not great. I just want to say that. I'm just a humble guy, came from India with, big dream and $7. And, life has been good. And I was bachelor then, of course. I was an engineer, but then I came here for my MBA in marketing. And some of you who have followed me know that I sold books and encyclopedias, door to door, changed engineer into a salesperson, sales consultant, and motivational speaker, and a fundraiser. And little did I know that my God was, I believe in God very much. Actually, my Hindu God is Hanumanji and Krishnji and all, but I respect every religion. And I sold Bibles, look at that, and which is, I respect, Quran and others, everything. So the key thing is, for us to always be thinking how we can pivot ourselves for more productive activities, and the business has to change. We were just talking that, right?
You know what I like about this principle, Vinney, is I wrote my book, broke to $250,000, and on the bottom of it, this little red line here says the point is not to work, it's to generate income. And so this principle, Wealth Principle 32, is like really close to home. It was about 7 years ago that I just realized, like, oh my God, like I've been proud of all the hard work I've done, and that kept me broke. And it wasn't until I shifted into acquiring assets that made money, that kept going. And obviously I followed the multifamily path. That was what I started buying, and it worked. And I wrote this sentence down on my board. Like, I'm sure you're the same way. You got the whiteboard, so you like inspirational quotes. And it was so clear to me. The point is not to work, it's to generate income. And so you've kind of mastered that. And because we're talking about broke to $250,000, your book is coming out. I wrote that book. $250,000 to me was a lot. And I know you as an investor, like a capital raiser, on the capital raising side of what you do, you won't even talk to somebody for less than $250,000. The minimum entry point for your investments is that $250,000 mark. They have to be accredited investors. And now you got your $100 million funds, which I know you just did a tour. You raised commitments for $400 million. I know you're still raising for your next projects. And so for the person who's listening right now, how does a person come from $7 from India, another country, like not from America, not speaking great English, although your English is amazing now, not having great taste, although you have the sunglasses now, like you picked all this stuff up along the way, didn't have a wife when you got here, right? So everybody says your spouse is what makes you successful. You didn't have the wife yet. Like you came to this country and you hustled books that were not in line with your religion. So you did all these uncomfortable things. And a lot of that was work. Where did you realize that you were just putting out more effort and more effort and more effort and just getting diminished returns? What point was it? Because it was probably long before multifamily. Is that like a good guess?
Totally. You're so right, Gualter. I mean, in life for everybody, not just me alone, everybody goes through ups and downs. And not all the times you make decisions are the right decisions for you. But the beauty of the entrepreneurs, serial entrepreneurs like you and I and others, is that we never give up. We never stay on the floor. You get up, and you get up again. And, as the life treats you, business treats you, you figure out ways to do the right things. That's the word, right things, for everybody connected to you. It could be your employees, it could be your vendors, it could be your brokers, it could be investors, valued investors, I call them. Always, I've never say you're my investor friend. I say you're my very valuable investor friend. We send gifts and all that. I mentioned it before. We spend 12 to 15,000 every year in end of November around Thanksgiving, because we want to thank them. We want to thank the great investors of ours who only my wife and my daughter knows who they are. We don't bother them at all. And somebody asked me, could you give us the list of your investors? We're going to do this email blast for my funds. I said, no, I don't give to anybody. We're going to be sending it ourselves. Anyways, the key thing is...
I love that. I love that. Yeah, I know you want to go back to the fact. All right.
Yeah,
but
I want to go to that.
I love how you treat your investors, and they are your highly valued investors. I wrote a little note to call my investors highly valued, greatly appreciated. Yeah.
They are. Because see, I always have said that also in my recordings, never look at a client or an investor as 100,000 investor, multiply by 20. I always have said that 20x, because they will have a circle of friends. If you please that $100,000 investor and they're happy with you and you're giving them good returns, they will tell their friends. They want to boast about you. They want to talk to their family, their children, their boss. I've had so many calls from so many different, all these people within the line. They say, Vinney, so-and-so told me about you, and we want to invest 100, 200, 500, like that. Our first investors have put in as much as $5 million. Wait a minute. If I did not treat them right, they wouldn't be giving me 4 million, 5 million, and making a kind of like, multiplying myself is the easy way to say that. They sell, and if a recommendation or referral comes and then you meet with them, it's a warm, very warm. They've already made a decision to invest with you. Then it's the job of you to show them what the current opportunity is and get to know them and, do the SEC rules of B, meet with them, find out their goals, aspirations, meet again, all that kind of stuff.
That's like a capital raising course right there. So, if you're getting value, drop yes in the chat, type yes so that Vinney knows that you're getting some value from this. So going back to the original question, because I know you couldn't have always been this wealthy. You couldn't have always been this positive. You couldn't have always been this clear on what the right thing, because you do a lot of coaching with me even before this podcast. Before we jump on, you're like, hey, this is what you got to cut this person, or you gotta have this conversation. Keep an eye on this. Like, you at some point didn't have any employees. You didn't have any assets. What was the thing? Like, what was that moment where you realized that your effort, your grinding, all that work was just not producing beyond you? Like, diminished returns. You were getting less and less from the amount of time you're putting in.
Totally, brother. I think 16 or 18 years back, when we tried to shift, my wife and I.
Hold on. So you're 70 right now. You're going to be 71 in August.
Yes.
And you're going to tell me that you went over 50 years of your life thinking that your effort was good enough, that your efforts were really, and then in your 50s, you woke up to this.
Yes. 56, brother. That's literally almost 17 years back, right? 56 or something. So that's when, we were buying single family homes and we thought we were making good money. But when the CPA looked at it, he says, you know what, you're losing money. You have so many expenses and this and that. We thought we were rich because we owned, but we didn't own. The banks owned our single family homes more than we did because they gave us 70 to 80% loans. So a lot of people have misconceptions that they own real estate. It's the bank owns it. But the big thing is single family home, I realized almost 20 years back, it's not going to cut the mustard. It's not going to get me to where I want to be. That's when I shifted and I looked at lots of different office spaces. I looked at strip shopping centers. I remember looking through leasing these, office spaces, hotels I saw, industrial I saw. And then I said, you know what, multifamily just caught my attention, brother, 20 years back. They said, multifamily is just like having so many homes very close to you in one location, and you got 20 people living, and now you could pay a part-time guy or girl to collect your rent and have a very simple tech person who can also be living in your community if you want to, or nearby, and they take care of the repairs.
So 56 years old, you and your wife have started this real estate business. You're doing single family homes, and you start coming to this epiphany. I know you met your mentor, Dave Lindahl, and you start going to these courses, start taking these trainings. I know you paid him a lot of money, not just for you, but you brought your team in with you. What was that? That was over $100,000 you paid.
150, 60,000, something like that. Yeah.
So you took this big loan. I assume you didn't just pay that in cash. You took this big loan out and you paid for this course. You go through Dave Lindahl's course. And for anybody who doesn't know who he is, he's like the godfather of multifamily. Yeah. And you liked it because it was similar to what you already knew. You were doing single families, and this looked to you like 10x of single families. So multifamily to you at the time was genius. Now, 16, 17 years later, you're shifted your asset class to something similar to multifamily, but now much more profit, because again, the point is not to work, it's to generate income. And now you're doing these hotels, which back then hotels didn't make any sense to you. And back then REL didn't make any sense to you. Residential assisted living, memory care, none of that made sense. And now you're in a different place in life, and the market has changed. The market is completely different. Everybody's in multifamily because, you know, Dave Lindahl's done a great job teaching everybody.
Totally.
And so now you're moving into this hotels and residential assisted livings, because the cash flow is significantly higher. You're generating more income, and it does involve more work. How are you getting around that? How are you getting around the fact that these are not even considered really real estate, they're more considered businesses?
You know, I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad. As a matter of fact, I want to really epitome of what's happening in my life and the students I'm teaching how to raise money. They are coming back to me. They say, Vinney, you asked us to buy cash flowing assets. I said, yeah, that's what I taught you. He says, well, in multifamily, the whole ocean of multifamily has gone red. I said, what? You know, everybody and everybody's trying to buy, overpaying last 3-4 years. And I shared that I only bought one deal last year. I only bought one deal year before. They said, what? I said, yeah, because the numbers don't make sense. And you cannot get, returns give to investors, limited partners of 7, 8, 9% when the property is making 2% cash and cash. There's no way.
It goes back to what you said. You're highly valued investors. You're always looking for their return. You're always caring about what their goals are. And so if the asset doesn't serve your investors, it doesn't even have any interest to you.
No interest. So I've been pivoting 4 years back, let's say 4 or 5 years back, into senior assisted living. And I wanted to take and keep the multifamily senior assisted living. Was my new pivot, that Vinney's going to get bigger and bigger. And that's why I started building 74 units, 88 units, ground up constructions, things like that, right? And 94 units and so on. But the big thing is that you are able to multiply, and senior assisted living and residential senior, both are in the same category. One is at a lower level of 10 rooms and guests in the house to 16 guests. Some states allow more than others. Some have only 8 only. But I always have kept that main premise. What I know is the multifamily. It's better to have 80 residents or seniors in a location. I can give them better amenities, the movie theater, the spas, the salons, the putting greens, the swimming pool, dining, very good dining, restaurant style, exercise rooms, billiard rooms, libraries, all those things, right?
In fact, if you want to see one of Vinney's properties, you got to go back 2 weeks ago, or it was 2 episodes ago. Vinney was actually in town in Florida, and he was touring one of his 85 unit properties, 3 terraces, courtyards, just gorgeous property. And we toured us. So you go back and watch that one. It's really, really inspirational. My team, I sent them to watch it. I said, look, this is what I see the future as. We're not there yet. We have no clue how to do it, but Vinney is moving this direction. I think that's a great goal for any investor who has the heart and desire to serve seniors, like you kind of showing us the way. Before we jump off, Vinney, because I know you got a book coming out. So I know you've gone back and you've reviewed one of the books that you did a while back, Positivity Brings Profitability. You've added, I think, 80 something chapters.
Yes, sir.
Which goes to the benefit of having a great wife who says, look, you can do better.
I know. I love Kanchan. my partner for 43 years plus, and she says, well, I liked your first book, but the second book is not that good. So I just went back to it. Then I just revised it, and now it's going to be a second edition. I just hired a publisher, very, very great one, great person. And I want to thank Kimberly Taylor, a great, great friend of mine. And she has been my SEC attorney she did 26 offerings for me when I started in this business with ground zero. So she's actually reading that book. She wanted to learn more about senior living, and she's editing it for me and adding things. And she just shared 2 chapters of her book, which is an Amazon top seller, How to Raise Money Legally. And she says, Vinney, you could take my 2 chapters and improvise and put them into yours. This is so wonderful. A lot of people won't do that. No, Gualter, it's the heart. It's what, really boils down to is if you have right connections, right people in your life, they will come and change your life for the better. You got to let them give more and more and more and more and more. She's even making a small book of my interview with her. She says, Vinney, you added so much value. And the publishers told me same thing too this week. He says, Vinney, we are publishing that book on Amazon. Your interview with Kimberly Taylor, and there'll be many books coming out under her with the top, operators and things like that. I was very humbled. I mean, I don't know what I said. I like to read it and see, but.
Let me see. So I have her book right here.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, here we go. I got them all together actually. So she wrote this one. You wrote,
right.
Well, obviously this one you just revised, but
yes,
this one.
Yes.
So having chapters from both of these is so cool because these are both foundation capital. And before I knew Kimberly Taylor, and before I knew you, Vinney, I had these books. I was going through these books before I met you guys. So it's so cool.
That's so cool, brother.
With my heroes, and see you guys collaborating with each other. So before we log off, Vinney, this is a really important topic for people who are really working hard, and for you who's like grinding out there, who's hustling, who's thinking you got to work harder to get out of the game. There are instances like Vinney did, go door to door selling encyclopedias and Bibles, and he did that when he had no other option. He was living with his uncle, and he had to pay the bills. He had to, contribute to the family on some level. But as he got wiser, and unfortunately, some of Vinney, your age, right? Vinney, 56 years old, right? When he was 56 years old, some of you are at that same point where it's just like you just haven't caught on, and maybe you got money in your 401ks, maybe you got money in the bank, maybe you got money in assets, and maybe it's time to do that HELOC and put that money to work for you. I know that we can actually talk about your deals, but I know we're running out of time. So what's the easiest way if somebody wanted to get passive income in these spaces that they're not comfortable with, like where you've already figured out all the work and you've got the teams running, and somebody wanted to learn about RELs and how to passively invest instead of actively investing? What's the easiest way to go? Is that VinneyChopra.com or? Yeah,
VinneyChopra.com, and it says that you could be, investor in my club, the future current offerings and others. It's for accredited investors only. The ones I'm doing right now, $200 million funds, which is 506C and, Regulation D. So that we can advertise. A lot of ads are coming out from my teams and all. But for learning, the best place is Brother Gualter. He and I put together this beautiful course right there in Alchemist Nation, Syndication Academy. We could even give it a new name. The ideas in that academy with video lectures and attachments, my blueprints, everything we give for a very reasonable cost. Please reach out to Gualter, and he's introducing it, including in the new course that will be sharing in the Alchemist Nation, 100 Millionaire Summit coming up in 2023, November.
That's right. Yeah. Stephen Beaver's been working on it. He's been working with you $7.07. He's working on that course, tying it all in. So for everybody who's listening, this is really not a sales pitch. Like, the idea is just to tell you that information is out there. We've got free course on Alchemist Nation where Vinney donated a lot of free stuff. It's just if you want his PowerPoint, how to present, if you want a spreadsheet to underwrite, if you want access to all of his capital raising strategies. That's where that course really is, over 100 videos. So yeah, I hate to like sell on a podcast that's tremendously valuable. So here's my thing. Invest in passive assets so that you can stop working. Like, you should work. Me and Vinney are still working. We're still doing things that we love and we enjoy and we're passionate about, that make money and help other people. But I think that for the person who's trying to do it all through hard work, but not buying assets, you're missing something very, very important. That is quality of life. You're missing impact. You're missing being able to do more things with your family, being able to have contribution, being able to be involved in deals that are like senior housing is genuinely helping the next, like the generation that built all of this country. So it's just something to think about. Is maybe the point is not to work. Maybe it is to generate income. And then with your free time, you go and do things that are more appealing to you, things that you care about, like me and Vinney are doing here. We're just paying it forward, sharing and giving back. So if that resonates with you, go check it out at VinneyChopra.com. You can learn about his deals. If you want free courses, free access, or just ask questions, go to alchemistnation.com. Cheers to your success. When you have a choice, always work with the best. We'll see you next week, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard Time, yes.
This is Abundance Thursdays.
Thank you, Abundance Thursdays. See you. Gualter, you're amazing, brother. I want to really give thanks to you and your audiences, because I think we are here to spread the word and make people really, enjoy life. I think that's the thing. Happiness comes whether you have little money or no money or whatever, but the big thing is contributing to the rest of the people around us. That's what it makes us very, very strong people, because if we give unselfishly, we'll get back so much, many folds.
I love that. It's the absolute truth. So drop below, what is the thing you would change in this world when you get rich, or as you're building your wealth? What is the one thing you would change? And we'll see you next week. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Hey there! The upcoming episode is scheduled for Thursday. We appreciate your viewership of the Abundance Mindset Show. Tune in every Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time or 12 p.m. Eastern on various social media platforms hosted by Vinney Chopra and Gualter Amarelo. Don't forget to subscribe, share your comments, and leave a 5-star review. Thank you for your support.